Yeah. So I would like to give a little theory about what we're about to do, and the theory about this, what's called in many, especially therapeutical, psychological modalities, is processing. Processing. Um so also this can work without the theory as well, but I know some of you are in the field, or some of us are more intellectually minded. So for me, it helped a lot to understand more what was happening to me, and yeah, in some way, the more we, I believe Uspensky said, a master of the fourth way tradition, that the more you have understanding about what practice you are doing, the more understanding what you are doing and why and what's happening, the more you get more benefit out of it, rather than just some kind of blind happening. Although these methods, they are kind of pretty effective anyway. So the idea is that, although our essential being is what we have explored, that it's, at least theoretically, we can be open to the possibility that it is a pristine, aware, divine being, infinite, indestructible, intelligent, loving, and peaceful. Um, as we come in here, we get conditioned with programs about how we are supposed to be. We are conditioning, we are getting conditioned through just being exposed to our environment, our parents, society, TV, media, um, and then also due to less than ideal conditions in childhood. The ideal conditions would be that the parents are sages, and they are deeply present to us without, and they are seeing us, feeling us, tuning to us. So there's this field of loving presence, unconditional love. So I think many of us didn't experience that. So due to less than that, some degree of reactivity, the negativity of people in our life, even negativity directed towards us, criticism, people in our life dealing with addiction, with trauma, with pain. Um, Somehow we get these wounds, hurt somehow in the so-called, you know, I guess there are some ouches happening in consciousness. Um, and then we develop some adaptations in order to better handle our environment, which is kind of wonderful that consciousness is very resilient, and even without any special knowledge, we adapt, being more tough, not caring, becoming super pleasers, pleasing others, becoming funny, or becoming guarded, or becoming bullies, or anyway. So we developed all these kind of adaptations in order to protect ourselves, and in order to hopefully get some more love or less shit. Uh, and so we accumulate in our being all these layers and layers of, I would say, pain body, and limiting thoughts, starting with the first one, that I am what I see in the mirror. And we are treated by our society as the body. And then gradually we have more layers of uh, that develop subconsciously, of thoughts and feelings. It's not just thoughts, but it's feelings, and all these negative thoughts, they kind of affect our meridians, energy system, chakras, um, and um, there are layers and layers of such negative energy field, thought, feeling, energies, and then also they become as our identity, sub-identities. Um, so now on the path of reclaiming our true nature consciously, and which is for the purposes of being content, being happy, being in having inner peace. Even those of us who were chasing enlightenment or liberation or other fancy terms, we are ultimately chasing it in order to be happy and have inner peace. So on this path, the prerequisite is to kind of become more proficient at what we have done in the first part, this developing ability to witness and to observe, not identify, rest as awareness, not resist, and just watch uninvolved. So these qualities of being, of witnessing, they are absolutely necessary. And this alone, they can bring some self-soothing, some stability, some much better inner landscape. But in order to really have some reliable, to have some embodied sense of inner peace and okayness, and to embody these qualities of presence in this our life, it is not possible to have that experience unless we are kind of unprogramming and releasing this accumulation of all the negative programs and their afferent energy and feelings connected to it. And so that's why this topic of processing, and when we talk about processing, it's processing of all this accumulation stuff that are stored in our subconscious or unconscious. So part one is to turn on, to kind of ignite consciously that which is processing, which is consciousness, the aware presence, and to have some more of a reach to that, reliable reach to that. But then it is necessary to now unpack, uncondition, unprogram this stuff. Right. So now they are just like the body has this ability of self-healing. You know, you get cut or something happens right away, there is some automatic healing process happening that restores balance. Just like that, the same program is happening. It's available. The same healing program is available psycho-spiritually, psycho-emotionally. And basically the agent is our presence, our witnessing presence is dissolving or letting go or discharging these negative energy fields within us by simply doing what we have done before in the first part, by simply witnessing from awareness this stuff. It's very important to have the first part in place, the witnessing from awareness, because there are many modalities that are attempting processing and they have some degree of success, but it's more like processing this stuff from the mind. So the mind is processing the mind, but this has a limited, limited capability. Also, the conscious mind is just more like the tip of the iceberg, and then all these programs are underneath in the iceberg, underneath the water. So a lot of the conscious mind cannot access the unconscious. So it is much more effective to process stuff from awareness. And yeah, so this way, through this deeply seeing and deeply feeling, and not trying to solve it, not trying to, not even trying to intellectually figure out why we have that, just through this detached, benevolent, deeply seeing and deeply feeling, these are ideal conditions for those stuff to come up and for those stuff to be discharging. And then through this process, we are naturally later developing insights. We understand like why. I see. So the usual insight, these liberating insights, they come while engaged in the process. They arise spontaneously or afterwards. After we already discharge that particular thing, we have understanding. An obstacle actually is like we use this mechanical, like in a car, dealer car mechanic, to there's some problem, we apply this problem solving, and we go right away to like, why am I feeling like this? Why this is happening? And this illusion is that if we can understand why, then I'm going to do something and it's going to stop. But it doesn't work with subconscious, unconscious stuff. So in the next part, we are going to allow some stuff to come up. I'm going to probe some things that as a body of humanity we all have in common, some type of common limiting stuff, connection to our deficiency, identity, you know, there's something wrong with me, I'm broken, I'm unlovable, unworthy, undeserving, inferior somehow. So I'll just probe into some general stuff. Also, I know that you have put down some things, and also some stuff may naturally come up. Also, what wise people say who have undergone the process is that it's also not just from this lifetime, so it can be kind of certain pain body tendencies coming from previous lifetimes, or transmitted from our parents or from society, so or stuff that our mother experienced as we were as she was pregnant. So this is interesting to keep in mind. So now whatever we are going to do, what is important is that although the content that arises will be maybe more charged than in the previous meditation of this morning, it will be more me feeling in them, more sense of personal, painful sense. It's very important to keep coming back to this position of being the witnessing of this content. And also it's very important to, and I will remind us often to, as we notice these things, to also notice the background in which they appear somehow. So to not stay locked in with the focus of attention into some kind of thought or some kind of contraction, but to open the attention and see and feel all that, but without being focused into it, and to return as much as possible to this being the sky in which these dark clouds are floating through. Well, yeah, I believe this is enough theory. And